quick little heads up. While I was making this video, A, I had to be really quiet, and B, I had a tickle in my throat. I had a tickle in my throat. My throat was a bit scratchy. Yeah, just thought I'd let you know, so you know why it sounds the way it does. Enjoy! People often wonder why aliens haven't ever come to planet Earth, and my response to that question is the following answer. There are a bunch of fucking brainless bigots who are so bloody stupid the aliens go, fuck this shit, I'm gonna go skinny dipping in Venus and see if my balls will either enlarge or detonate. And there are a few people who are like that. But one person in particular is even more so, and his name is PrinceofFALLEN, a YouTuber who had over 1,000 subscribers before his channel was terminated. And while that would be enough to deter me from actually making this video, he actually has 2 other channels, so yeah. And he is someone who claims to be someone who gets slandered, harassed, and mass flagged by a person with over 116,000 subscribers. That person being Tipster. And why is he claiming Tipster is doing so? Well, from what I've been told from someone, PrinceofFALLEN's videos are full of harassment and slander, which sounds a lot like a certain person I've spoken about a lot on this channel, who barely got over 10 subs. Silly, his videos are so full of harassment and slander and misinformation. But he's another video entirely. Irritatingly. PrinceofFALLEN, however, has a major reason for why his main channel got terminated. He doxed Tipster. He literally fucking released this shit on his community post, and when questioned, straight up not only said yes, but that he would do it again. And then you get dipshits saying, who the fuck cares that Tipster's not public info became public? You just straight up admitted to being down with doxing. Retard. It also doesn't help the fact that PrinceofFALLEN admitted to doing so, and even said not only that he would do it all over again, but that Tipster deserved it. Right, basically showing to everyone that he is the type of person who will dox someone and not feel any real guilt behind it because, according to him, that person deserved it. I'm gonna very quickly interrupt this and say that under no circumstances is doxing a-okay. Doxing someone is not something you can justify, and anyone who tries to is just a gigantic idiot who clearly hasn't seen the light of the sun in about 20,000 years. Plus, you can get sent to jail for it. You can be sent to jail for 6 months to about a year, followed by a $500 to $1,000 fine, and have doxing put on your criminal record if you've been found guilty of doing so. I will admit that there are some people who deserve what for, but there are some things that are just taking things way too far, and doxing is very much one of those things. I would never wish that upon anyone, even if that person looks like they deserve it. You can think said person deserves to be doxed, and nobody can really stop you from thinking it, although it will cause issues for you within your circle. But if you not only think it, but proceed to do it as well, then that is where everyone will turn on you. Except for the odd brain-dead moron who clearly doesn't know any better because their parents are a human and a turkey. And truth be told, I honestly have no idea why Iron Eyes even made a video on the whole thing, as he gets all his info from Mad Black Entertainment, who isn't a credible source. Speaking of Mad Black Entertainment, he actually fired up a live stream on the whole situation, and what the fuck? We'll get to all that in a sec, as well as the idiots agreeing with these people and talking about Tipster mass flagging PrinceofFALLEN. But first off, I want to quickly pull apart Iron Eyes' video on the whole situation. First thing he does is call Tipster a hypocrite, a word Iron Eyes still can't say right, as he keeps on saying hypocrite, and that Tipster bullies other people with his videos when everything there is just false. Plus, I feel like I need to point this out, but that'll come up later on in the video. However, as for the bullying statement, I feel like I need to point out that Tipster runs a news channel. He covers news that is going on, and he even asks his fans what topics would they like him to cover. And like any good journalist, you need to research and gather more information before you can properly make your video. And even then, he has gotten things wrong. Bad Bunny is a good example. Actually, no, she is a great example. When Tipster made his video on her, she actually reached out to him and informed him that it's not real how she acts on his streams, and that it's exactly that, an act. And he pointed that out. He made an amendment stating Bad Bunny reached out to him and informed him that it's just an act and that she doesn't mean any of it. And once again, Iron Eyes confusing bullying for criticism. And why is nobody surprised? Also, pretty sure he doesn't really have an issue with people criticizing him as long as it is criticism and not just more baseless bullshit. I know says this a lot about people, by the way, when in truth, it's him that is like this. And again, the fact you actually believe the shit that comes out of MBE's mouth further shows that you don't know what the fuck you were truly talking about. And I need to point out that in a debate with Tipster, MBE got roasted. MBE is not credible in the slightest, only by those who hate people like Tipster in the quarter because of their coverage. And Tipster even states that at the end of every one of his videos, these are just his opinions. This is what he thinks. He doesn't expect everyone to believe his opinions are correct, but he also doesn't expect people to start kissing his ass like it's made of fucking gold. I also accuses Tipster of clout chasing and only caring about his channel. Not even gonna fucking bother with that one due to how fucking stupid it is just hearing it. Also, I know, take a look in a mirror at what a clout chaser looks like. I'm not gonna lie, watching his video while writing the script and I'm losing the will to live. Also turns out, I know this isn't even talking about Tipster. He's talking about someone called Tipster. Whatever the fuck that is. However, this is something I must address as well, it's something the idiot always does. Brings up Susie Lou. But at least in this case, he's sort of making a point, if not a false one. Susie Lou flagging Tipster's videos wasn't right, and Susie very much cannot take criticism. People have talked about her actions and what they think, and she reacts by false flagging them because they managed to wound her ego that's bigger than a Gorok from Star Wars. Susie was very much in the wrong. Again, gonna address this point later on. They are using the drama to get Again, they are commentary channels. It's what they fucking do! Even I have started doing them because, well, in truth, it makes me be more creative. Good balance, actually. The gaming side is me having fun, and the commentary side is me putting serious effort in. Good balance, that, actually. At this point, I've just given up, because once again, he's making the whole thing about Susie Lou while spouting misinformation like normal, and getting his information from a source that wouldn't even be credible if it was a newspaper being printed in purgatory. Wait, did I seriously praise me and say that I do better research than Tipster?
What?
But the major thing I gathered from his video was that it was just another excuse for him to talk about Susie Lou, a content creator who has fuck all to do with the current events that have transpired. And I also want to address that he claims everyone has forgotten about it, yet he literally droned on about it for 10 to 15 minutes, maybe longer. I'm going to say you still don't know what hate speech is, Dingleberry, but it's also apparent that Rhinos is siding with PrinceofFALLEN on the whole situation because his stuff got flagged down by Tipster. Again, addressing this all later in the video. But Rhinos, stay out of shit you have no fucking knowledge of, and keep your never gonna be girlfriend Susie Lou out of shit that doesn't even involve her. But there is one point in the video that I should seriously address, which is that Tipster and me have never met Susie Lou in the real world. You've never met either of us IRL, so what the fuck is your point? Using that as some sort of argument or defense is so stupid because it doesn't even make any sense. Not only that, but within your video, you are being a hypocrite yourself as well as contradictive. Combined with misinformation about Tipster and insulting him, you even fail to understand what real criticism looks like. It's always good to know that there is always one idiot on the wrong side of things who clearly doesn't know a damn thing about what they are spouting, which me and my friends have actually proven time and time again. Remember when you said you went to school in Ireland due to reasons? Maybe you might want to get your money back. Now let's get on to talking about Matt Black's take on it, and need to very quickly point out something he brings up right from the get-go about Tipster, which is he is against deplatforming and censorship. Now while it's true that Tipster is against that type of stuff, I need to quickly point out that... Actually, I already said that I'll be dealing with this bit later on, so... let's just continue with this shit show. MBE brings up videos that belong to PrinceofFALLEN that were flagged down and quickly states before continuing to anyone watching who are asking how he knows it was Tipster. And to be fair, that actually is a legit question to ask, which needs to be looked at from an outside perspective. At this point, you have one question that is technically two questions, just molded into one. The questions being, was it actually Tipster, and is there any other possibility it was another person? Now, yes, the second one kinda does fall apart right off the bat, but at the same time, when you have that thought rattle about inside of your head and analyze flagging, you kinda start thinking that it isn't as giant a stupid question as it first appears. People who make videos on platforms can have their videos flagged by many different people, even people who the person is talking about. And there are quite a few reasons as to why someone would flag it down. Some of the major reasons is because people who watch it think that it contains things that violates the guidelines. But at the same time, the person said person is talking about can also equally flag it down if they feel like there is something in it that is serious slander and just full of absolute name calling and other things that violate COS. If a video contains material that people think is reportable, they're gonna flag it to be reported and reviewed. Also need to bring up that while people shouldn't try to deplatform people, some people, in all complete honesty, and might not exactly be the most popular opinion, do deserve it. But to all the idiots out there who think Tipster is one of them is completely wrong. Literally all he does is report on news online and even states that these are his opinions. He even does it in live streams. However, anyone who straight up doxes someone, they deserve to lose their place on the platform. Which is what PrinceofFALLEN did. I'm gonna point out that pretty sure they don't call them a T-channel. Last time I checked, T-channels do their videos in a completely different way than commentary channels and drone on and on and on about people like Gabby Hanna and Charlie, whatever the fuck her name is, every other day because they clearly have nothing better to do other than piss away all their money on clothes at McDonald's while drinking a strawberry smoothie. I'm also gonna point out that Anna Oop has well over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and she is a T-channel. It isn't really that hard to search. Also feel like I need to debunk this little thing he brings up about the videos going down all being at the same time. It is possible for that to happen, just not very highly likely. If you're watching a video that you feel deserves to be flagged after watching a bunch of other videos made by the same person that are effectively the same quality as what you are watching now and flag it, other people watching said person's videos might be feeling the exact same way and flag the videos. Again, having them all go down at the exact same time is extremely highly unlikely to occur, but that's not to say it's impossible. Plus, another very good reason why Tipster may have flagged the guy's videos might be because of this line you said.
He flagged him because this guy has been on his ass criticizing him.
Not gonna lie, when you say it like that, it kinda sounds like the guy is constantly looking for reasons to make videos on Tipster, which might possibly fall under harassment. I know one guy who's done it a shit ton of times on me and my friends, and we don't even have to talk about him. Also, MBE, what the fuck are you on about involving the videos Tipster made on Susie Lou?
If you flag me, I'm going to go to those 30 Susie Lou videos, and I'm going to send all 30 of them to YouTube. And I'm going to put on there, this is a violation of TOS for targeting. And you're targeting a white female?
Targeting? Newsflash, Tipster runs a news channel! Like, do I need to have the fucking words flashing on the screen to have that sink into your thick fucking skull? Because I feel like I do. If you know anything about news, depending on how big of a story it is or has, will determine whether or not the story will get brought up again, giving everyone updates on the current situation. And if I'm being honest, you cannot count the last two videos Tipster made on Susie. The last one was talking about how she's claiming to be responsible for removing dislikes on YouTube, which technically doesn't really count as it was a clip from a live stream he made. And the one before that was talking about the thread she made, talking about the shit happening to zombie kills, which she managed to end up making about herself, and even Nisaga called her out on it. So when you make the claim that what Tipster did involving Susie Lou was targeting, by that logic, so is every single fucking news organization in the world for bringing up updates on politics and celebrity bullshit and Harry and Meghan being a pair of fucking fruitcakes. It's news. Whether you like it or not, that's just how shit is done. And this might be the genuine kick in the bucket for you, bro. You bitch about how they are drama channels and are doing this to soak up the drama. Motherfucker, look what the fuck you're doing, you fucking hypocrite. You're doing the exact same fucking thing you were bitching about them doing. They can't cover shit like this, but you can talk about them doing bullshit. Not how shit works, my friend. You making that claim literally makes you come off as a hypocrite because you are literally doing the same thing by making videos on them, which causes even more drama. How the fuck you haven't realized that yet is beyond me. Also, I already spoke about Bowblax and the incident involving Van Tactician. Yes, the clip re-uploaded was only 43 seconds long, which does question whether or not it was right of him to properly do so. He actually left a comment on my channel stating the reason and that he had reversed it. I'm pretty sure Tipster, if you really fucking tried hard enough, doesn't give a fuck about others criticizing him. But if there was something in that video that he didn't like and or was against the terms of service, then he can flag it. You can literally do that to all of Ironar's videos for the same reason because that's all his channel is. Disclaimer, do not go mass flagging Ironar's videos. I'll deal with him later. Plus MBE, You literally admitted to doxing yourself. And you said it was out of revenge?
We don't do that doxing shit around here. I've done it in revenge. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I have doxed people out of revenge.
Okay. In the wise words of Hound from Transformers,
cut the crap before I drop a grenade down your throat.
Okay, 2 things. 1, not the words I meant. And 2, how the fuck would you even do that? Like, your grenade is the size of your face. Unless you shrink the grenade or widen Drift's mouth, that explosive ain't going down as gob. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, MBE doxing. Now you get why I write scripts. MBE, don't ask why I'm calling that. I just am, and even I don't know why. Guess MBA. Admitted in his live stream to doxing people out of revenge in the past, and says that it was in the past. And that's an acceptable and excusable excuse. How exactly? Just because you did a giant fuck up in the past and then years later say that that was in the past doesn't make what you did excusable. That's not a valid excuse. That's like me murdering a grandma with an M16 and then running over her corpse with a Corvette and getting charged for it and then getting released from prison and have people bitch at me for doing so and I go, hey, that was in the past, so quit whining about it. Not how fucking shit works, dummy. Yes, it was in the past, but that doesn't make what you did any less acceptable. Especially when it comes to doxing, which you can never fucking justify. There is nothing you can say or do to justify doxing someone. In fact, a YouTuber named Steve Steve made a 6-minute video about MBE admitting to it, and brings up very good points as well as truth. You very much are a hypocrite, a very big one. And in your case isn't exactly helped by the fact that you already had Tipster's private info before he got doxed.
Y'all probably think this is funny, but I got his phone number. I should call him live on the air. That shit'll really fuck his head up. Who is this? That shit'll fuck his head up, man. I know where he live, and I got his phone. I told y'all I could get that stuff. I know everything about him. I know his real name, his address, his phone number, all that shit. I know every bit of it. And I got proof of it. I can show y'all anytime I want. I'll send him his own information so he know for a fact that I got it.
You literally bragged about it in a previous stream, and because of all that, it has led to many people believing you gave PrinceofFALLEN Tipster's dox. And like Steve pointed out, you also got to have a go at Tipster for having a doxer in his Discord server when you had one yourself in your live stream. That is very hypocritical and very double standard. Now let's finally deal with some of the videos PrinceofFALLEN made on Tipster. I'll only be talking about 3 of them, titled Tipster Continues to Slander Me, Tipster is a Deranged Lunatic, False Flags videos because he can't handle criticism, and even more hypocrisy from Tipster's community. I'll leave that one for last, so let's deal with the first 2.
Tipster, your videos, my videos on you, had 0 of your personal information. That is a fact, and I have the receipts to prove that.
And immediately states that his videos had 0 of Tipster's private information, which may be true, I honestly have no clue, and while that may be true, I feel like I need to point out that there are other reasons why your video would get flagged down, and there are proper ways of dealing criticism. Scumbag Hector, another person I need to talk about later, is a very good example of that. True, he's not really correct about the shit he's talking about most of the time, but he still delivers criticism properly, which is the only real thing I can give him credit for. If you made your videos like his, then yeah, I'd have to agree with you. However, if they are done in the way Dimwit Idioticus does his videos, then he has every right to, as there would be much less criticism and more straight up harassment and slander and abuse. Again, this is me looking at this with an outside perspective, as I've never really even seen your videos, so I can't really tell for sure. But from what I've been told, they were filled with harassment and slander. From what I've been told. Again, never saw your shit.
We're gonna continue to just talk about how much of an obsessed lunatic Tipster is. I'm going to upload whenever I have the time, whenever I feel like it. And quite honestly, I feel like just talking about how much of an obsessed lunatic Tipster is, because he is by far the craziest person on this website.
In the second video, he claims Tipster is obsessed with him, and that he will continue to make more and more videos on Tipster. Yeah, thought about getting a life mate. Pretty sure he only kept talking about you that one day where you released his private info and then bitched because your videos got flagged. That isn't every day. That is the exact opposite of every day. And he has the right to talk about what you did on his Discord as well, to inform people about what you did. Actually, that might be what happened. When Suzy Lou was having videos taken down, she was even telling people in her Discord to go and mass flag all these videos criticizing her and calling out her behavior. When people have an ego that large and see someone make a video and shatter it, they'll want to take down that video to repair their ego and feel like everything is a-okay. But that isn't always the case. In some cases, when someone watches your videos themselves and see things they don't think is in line with the community guidelines, they'll flag it. But other times it'll come from a fan who got told something extremely disgusting about what this person had done or said and respond by flagging down videos, which will tend to be not so much malice, even though it could be arguable, but more anger because of the said actions. It may come off looking like malice, and who wouldn't see it like that, but to them, their actions are justified because of what it was you had done or said in a video you made that just really pissed them off. And I feel like I also need to explain the fact that Tipster, at the end of the day, has zero control over his fans' actions. He cannot really stop them from flagging down your shit on their own accord. He can say he disavows it and will not condone it or encourage it, like many people can do and say to their fans, but the fans are still their own person. And in this particular case, they'll feel like they were defending Tipster and trying to help him out after this, when in truth, they'll end up making things worse and will end up giving Tipster even more issues down the track. It's not something most of his fans would do, if any, but there will always be that one or two people who will end up taking things a bit too far in the name of protecting someone they are massive fans of and support. Again, it's not them being overly malicious, which isn't really that hard to see, but it also won't help the situation. I'm also going to address the part where PrinceofFALLEN calls Tipster an obsessed lunatic and the most craziest person on this website.
And quite honestly, I feel like just talking about how much of an obsessed lunatic Tipster is, because he is by far the craziest person on this website.
I'm guessing you forgot Iron Eyes exists, huh? And then goes on to say that he'll flag Tipster's videos if he keeps talking about him. Wow, double standard much? I fucking hate people like this, I'm sorry. These people think that it's perfectly okay for them to talk about said person, but not the other way around. I highly doubt Tipster is going to talk about you in a video. I really doubt he's going to want to even address it. And as for Suzy Lou, she is a prime fucking example of someone who cannot take criticism. And even showed off her ego in a live stream Augie made where she said the following.
Why would I care to prove my innocence to a bunch of nobodies on the internet?
Oh, definitely not guilty. You flagged Tipster.
She falsely flags down videos and calls them hate videos when they aren't. She just can't take criticism. And Tipster, like I've already stated in a previous video, has a day job outside of YouTube. So he very much doesn't rely on YouTube. That is a straight up lie and you fucking know it. Now let's deal with this final video, where I have an issue about a fifth of the way through?
And I don't care what they say about me over on Twitter. I don't give a fuck about Twitter. Twitter is a cesspool. It always has been. I've never been on Twitter, because it's shit. All I do is I go over there from time to time to see what dumb nonsense Tipster has to say, and then debunk his lies, and then move on. I don't even have an account on Twitter.
PrinceofFALLEN claims that he doesn't have a Twitter account, and then he only checks out Twitter to see what Tipster has tweeted and debunk his lies. And the issue there is, unless you're doing it through a video on YouTube like I would be doing when I made a Suzy Lou update video, how else are you gonna debunk his lies? Not me being stupid or anything, just curious as to what your other methods are for doing so. I don't use Twitter really myself. I do have an account on it, but I genuinely only go on there to see what's going on around the place. He then takes a pop at Keemstar, saying that Keem has doxed people in the past, as well as having his account terminated by YouTube and is effectively ban evading. I honestly have no clue if that's true, mainly because I only joined the scene last fucking year when Suzy Lou was being dumb, which she still is, and I don't really even tend to watch Keemstar. In fact, I can't even remember why I subbed to him in the first place. But truth be told, I'd actually love to learn more about that, so if someone could help with that, that would be swell. Although, I don't overly know about the going after part. Slandering, well, that's an I don't fucking know, but going after, last time I checked, Drama Alert is a news channel. Keem covers topics that are going around the world of social media and talks about them. And there are even times when an update has to be provided to inform people if it's either being properly resolved, or if shit's going further down Jabba's slimy and disgusting throat that smells worse than my dad's piss. Don't ask.
This was like my magnum opus right here. I've officially made it as a YouTuber.
Now this is the major thing I want to talk about. I've made it as a YouTuber. Where? If you actually had made it as a YouTuber, then you'd actually have real, proper supporters instead of the 5 or so fellow homophobes and racists, and you'd actually be an actual name, and you ain't. You would also have the numbers to back up your so-called influence. When a cat that basically does the equivalent of fuck all other than meowing on YouTube has a better stance on here than you. Hell, a bullfrog has a better stance on here than you. You have not made it as a YouTuber. I am a more successful YouTuber than you, bro. I actually had my own stupid little incident involving zombie kills, and I got tons of defenders backing me up for it. You, on the other hand, are only properly known because you doxed Tipster. There is only one person here who is slandering and bullying people, and that is you, bro. And I'll say to you, like I say to dumbass incompetent, we are all standing up for ourselves against the BS from a delusional idiot. This is not how you become a YouTuber. Unless you did something kinda stupid and the recipient responded like a total douchebag and people began defending you for it, then maybe this would be different. But it isn't. You released Tipster's name and his address, admitted to doing so, and even said that you would do it all over again, and people are blasting your ass for it. And people like Tipster are not breaking terms of service. That's, once again, you being a brainless pleb. Tipster and others within the commentary community talk about many different topics, sometimes even the same ones. Each with their own way of doing them, with their own take and their own opinions. That's not to say that there aren't people in this community that completely follow the guidelines, because that would be a bald-faced lie. But it does take serious look and care before you make stupid accusations when you don't even know how they make their videos. In Tipster's case, he runs a news show. He covers online news that is going on and provides his own thoughts and opinions. And in some cases, he's had to make another video on it, all for the purposes of an update. Do I personally think that Tipster is 100% right in every regard? Of course not. There will no doubt be some things that not everyone is going to agree with, and others where he will just be straight out wrong. But he at least owns up to it and will make amendments if that were to happen. So while I agree that Tipster does have flaws, he is still one of the most well-liked guys on the platform, and is more trustworthy than MBE or Scumbag Hector or any other diaper head out there who just flat out hates them. Last thing I want to address before stopping this is that he claims he never doxed Tipster. Are you sure about that, bro? Because your community posts say otherwise. Unless this happened to be a troll who wanted to frame PrinceofFALLEN for some reason or another, how exactly would they have gotten the info? The only other logical explanation I can think of is that Matt Black made this account and proceeded to release Tipster's information in order to frame PrinceofFALLEN. But that immediately begins to fall apart because it makes you question why would he? And then you start to think that these two were already friends and that Prince let MBE be a manager on his account. There was a massive falling out which was caused by Prince, and MBE decided to frame him and make everyone come to the conclusion that it was Prince who had done it. But even then, it doesn't make any sense, since if MBE was manager, you still want to be able to release it to frame Prince, as if you tried to, you'd then instantly be taken to the main channel page outside of the studio and have to do it from there, which I'm pretty sure would not properly work for him to do that. Of course, he could have gone and re-edited one of the posts, but again, why would MBE do it in the first place? The more you try to picture other alternatives for how this all happened, the more you begin plucking at the holes in the story and see that it couldn't work that way, which leaves only one definitive answer. PrinceofFALLEN did indeed dox Tipster. Now to address the big nub of all of this bollocks. The flags. Like I stated, many people can flag videos if they find something in it that they don't think is in line with TOS, if they are actually paying proper attention. And when it comes to Tipster flagging PrinceofFALLEN, yeah, not gonna lie, kind of on the fence with that one. If someone is making slanderous videos on you and making you seem more disgusting than you actually are, then defend yourself by making a video debunking all that shit. When Tati Westbrook made a video on James Charles, James stood up for himself with receipt and debunks everything stated. KSI did the same thing when Digi was making slanderous videos on him. And even Tipster did when Susie was slandering him. If someone is making videos slandering you, a much better option would be to defend yourself and debunk it all. Or at least what you can. Well, even I've done it when it came to zombie kills after invoicing me $4 grand, and when Ironars made his bullshit back in last year. And yeah, there's a new one coming, and it is the last one for real. I'm fucking done with this prick. But of course, there will always be reasons behind someone flagging down your content. And since PrinceofFALLEN's videos were taken down for bullying, we'll be playing with that. If said video contains constant name-calling or malicious insults, good example of person here, then that can be a very viable reason as to why your videos will be flagged down. Hell, I'll admit to have done some of it in my past Susie videos, and now I'm bettering myself by writing scripts as it is much more easier for me and keeps everything nice and tidy. Unlike my room most of the time. And there's a list here as well for you all to read if you would like, of other reasons for your videos getting taken down for cyberbullying and harassment. And no, Suzuru's claims are not valid. They're as valid as a Pikachu choking on a Bakugan. Wait, what? But do I think Tipster was overly right in what he did with PrinceofFALLEN? While I don't agree with the flags and that it would have been much more easier and simpler to make a video on the whole situation debunking all this shit, the main factor that remains is that PrinceofFALLEN released Tipster's private information on 2 of his community posts, and in them went down, which to me, truthfully, can make what Tipster did justifiable. If someone doxes another person, then that person straight up deserves to be flagged down and terminated. It's as simple as that. Do I overly agree with the flags? No. There are better ways of getting this shit done. But do I think because of the events that it can in some way be justified? Yeah, deplatforming is something nobody is okay with. Apart from the odd snowflake who reacts to being called out by going on a bigger rampage more destructive than a tornado. Something I actually slept through recently. Yeah, I'm not even joking about that. We legit had a tornado come through and I fell back asleep. And this was 8:30 in the morning. How? PrinceofFALLEN can continue to act like he did nothing wrong and that what had happened to him was wrong, and MPE can continue being a brainless Tipster wannabe who refuses to look at the entire picture, even with an outside look, all they want. At the end of the day, Tipster was very justified in what he did, and if he ever does feel the need to address any of it, that's very much his prerogative. He has every right to address the situation and fill in what went down while disproving these balance. Again, personally, flagging the videos probably wasn't the greatest move, and he should have just addressed it all in the video or on Twitter and have left it at that. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that Tipster was wrong when, in fact, he wasn't. The only wrong people in all of this are the brainless clown bitching at Tipster for it and are effectively ignoring the fact that a doxing had occurred. Sorry, but you guys can all shut the ever-living fuck up. Or as Howard would say,
cut the crap before I drop a grenade down your throat.
With that said, I have one personal message to end on. I will be uploading one more video like this, which actually put far much more effort and work into due to how serious and important it is, and then I'll be taking a break from that side and focusing more on my gaming side. The commentary side helps me make content that takes a lot of work to make right, while the gaming side allows me to unwind and just have fun. A fairly good balance, if you ask me. But in regards to what happened, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Ironars need not comment, as I already know what his response will be, and no fucking doubt he will go on to make another video filled with name-calling and harassment and slander with nothing to back himself up, like per usual. As I would like to hear what your views are on the whole thing, and if there was anything I might have gone wrong. Until then, I've been Taylor Gang, and I will see you next time. Take care.